Greetings again. We are here in CAN TV to talk to you today about an important topic provided by the services through Lucha, Latin United Community Housing Association. My name is Guillermina Leon, and I am a HUD-approved housing counselor working through Lucha to assist our community in many topics. And today we are going to be talking about the timeline to buy a home. What happens during that period when a person is getting ready to go through the process of buying a home? There's a lot of steps that take place in between, and also a lot of people that get involved in this process. The very first thing, of course, when somebody is thinking about buying a home is, do I have enough money to buy a home, to put in money for a down payment, as well as money for closing costs? Another question that might come up is my credit ready? I have good credit? Am I able to buy? These are all questions that might be coming to your mind. And if that is the case, we are here to assist you with that. So the timeline, of course, begins when these things are coming to mind and you have the dream of owning a home. So what to do if that is the case is the question. Let us help you work through that process, okay? Very well. So, of course, let's say that you are thinking about it, but maybe you still don't know what your credit is, or if you have anything there that might be a problem for you to obtain a loan. Maybe you need to get a higher credit score, or maybe you don't even know what that credit score is, if you should actually approach a bank or a finance company to help you with a mortgage or not. So the very first thing, of course, is maybe taking a look at your credit is a very good idea to make that determination. So where to go? One of the recommendations that we make is that you work with a HUD-approved agency. HUD-approved agencies are there to provide services for you. The services are free of charge for the most part. There are some HUD agencies that actually charge a small fee. So feel free to go to hud.gov, HUD.gov, and look for an agency near you. Lucha is here to provide assistance to you. Our services, again, are also free, and we are there to guide you through the process, whether it is by assisting you with credit counseling, as well as with home buyer counseling to walk you through the entire process from beginning to end. Make sure that you have the guidance, as well as making sure that you have the referrals that you need if you don't know who to talk to or who to contact with the parties that are involved in between the process. And then, of course, when you are ready to close, you also want somebody to guide you to knowing what it is you're going to sign. This is probably going to be one of the most important investments you make in your life. If not, probably the most important. So we are there to guide you and assist you through the process. Now, let's say that you are going to need to look through your credit. Credit counseling is part of the process provided by Lucha. Lucha works with you by looking at your credit report through something called a soft pull, which means we help you look through your credit without it affecting your credit score. This is done in order to assist you. We work with you to help you, guide you, and give you suggestions as to how to improve your credit so that your score can be raised, okay? And this is important because a lender is going to expect a certain score or a good score in order to determine if you are somebody that they can confide in, that's going to be able and responsible to pay the loan back. Of course, if they see that a person has a low credit score, it basically mentions or says that somebody is probably not responsible paying back their loans, and then perhaps it might be more difficult to obtain a loan, or if somebody gives you a loan, they might actually end up giving you a higher interest rate, which over the years it means money out of your pocket. So working on your credit is always a very good decision. The other thing is, you need money for that down payment and those closing costs. So do you have that money? If you do, then, and your credit is good, then you're ready to move on to look for an institution to help finance you. If you are not ready with that money and you don't have money for down payment or closing costs, then maybe you need the help of a HUD agency to help you put together a budget, something to make your money work through more things, be able to pay off your bills, reduce costs, while helping you to save that amount in order to help you obtain the home of your dreams. Now, let's say that your money is there, you have worked with the HUD agency, or you have done it on your own, that's okay. Your money is there, your credit is good, and you are ready to move on. Wonderful. The next step then is for you to go to an institution and find the financing for your home. That could be done either through a bank or through a credit union. And as you do that, you approach the lender. Normally, the lender will ask you for documentation to prove that you are going to be able to pay this loan back. That could be that they request from you things like your income, check stubs, perhaps also tax returns, probably from the last 2 years, as well as proof of assets, such as bank statements to show that you actually have the money there to be able to provide or to pay this money back, right? And also, they want to know what your expenses are to be able to see that you are going to be able to afford paying this home back, and that your check is not tied up to all of these other expenses that you might not be able to handle paying the loan back. So the bank is actually going to pull a credit check on you when you come to request a loan. That means that's going to be a hard pull. A hard pull means that it will affect your credit a small amount, okay, a bit. But it is important for you to know and to make this decision until you know what bank you're going to choose, because you don't want to make this a continuous process before you decide which bank and have hard pull after hard pull bringing your credit score down. So make that decision initially by comparing your banks and your interest rates and the plans that they have for homeowners before you decide which bank to go with. Now, when you come to the bank or the credit union that you want to have finance your home, they will go ahead and give you a pre-approval letter, meaning that you are pre-approved for a certain amount, which means that they will tell you how much house you can afford. That is based on your affordability ratio. Your affordability ratio is a comparison of income to debt that determines how much house you can buy to make it affordable for you. So this pre-approval letter, you now will take it, is good only for a certain period of time. You take that pre-approval letter and you now will go to the next step, which is to give that pre-approval letter to a realtor. So you will find yourself a realtor, and this realtor now will actually take that letter to understand how much house you can afford and be able to assist you with looking for the right home at the right price. You should by then already know what kind of house you're looking for, how many rooms, how many bedrooms, if you want a garage, what area of course you want it in, and that's to be decided by you, not anybody else. Only you know what's good for you, right? And that is really a personal decision. So it is recommended that you make visits to the areas that you really like at night and day, rain or shine, to determine if this is the best place for you. Take into account things down the road like, I want a big family, maybe when I retire, what kind of house will I need then? Or maybe I'm bringing my parents with me, what kind of needs do they have? These are important decisions, so take those into account as well when you're deciding where and what kind of home you want, as well as what type of services you need around your home, from a bank to a religious institutions, schools, whatever your needs are. And don't forget to consider the distance between your home and work to decide of course, your travel time and spending of gas down the road, if you want to have something near your work or not. Those are important decisions to make when you're looking for a home, the area that you're looking at and what your needs are. Your realtor will ask you for all of this information before they show you any homes. Okay? So now, when you find the home, excuse me, after the realtor takes you to see a few homes, and you finally find the home of your dreams, the realtor will actually be the one to help you put a contract together for the seller. In the contract, you will put down the offer that you're making against the price that the seller is asking for. And of course, the realtor will also note down on the contract anything that you would like to have as part of the house. Perhaps you want to keep the refrigerator and the stove, the washing machine. Perhaps you want to keep the, I don't know, any other things that are in the house that you want to include would actually have to be noted down on that contract. So that's important to do it then and not later, right? It doesn't hurt to ask. Now, the contract is then submitted by the realtor to the seller, and it is expected that you should have a response within about 24 to 48 hours after that contract is put in. So during that time, it's important to think about, okay, so what do I want to do? It is very important for you to know that the realtor is the only individual in the home buying process who is paid for by the seller and not by the buyer. So you don't have to worry. This is the only person that you will work with that you don't have to worry about paying. Very important. So choose a good realtor, okay? Now, let's say that the response is given back to you and your offer is accepted. Very important. This is a very important moment because the clock then begins ticking for you. This means that because your offer has been accepted, this is now has become a contract. You must now do the following. You have 5 days from the day that that contract is signed to find an inspector and have an inspection done on this home, okay? Now, the inspection part is optional, but it is recommended because it is the only one thing that you have to back out of that contract if something is wrong with the house. Very important. You now go and find a realtor, you now go and find an inspector to work with you now that the contract is there. As well, at the same time, you need to find also an attorney. So at the very same time, you're working with both individuals. The inspector needs to carry on the inspection within the next 5 days. At the same time, you have to get an attorney to review this contract with you and make sure that everything is in place and that things are there for you that need to be. All of the legal issues need to be worked out by this attorney. Now, in terms of the inspection, it is important that you take the day off of work or whatever else you have to do to be there for the inspection so that the inspector can actually walk you through the home with the not falling in love with the home and what it looks like, but with the eyes of what possible problems might there be with that home. Is there any foundation issues with the home that might cost you $80,000 in addition to? Is there water leaking in the roof that you have to deal with later? These are all costs that you might have to acquire if you don't pay attention to these things. And these are things that the inspector is looking for. They're looking for any situations and current status of the home in all of the house systems. So the inspection is very important, though it is not mandatory or obligatory. It is a very good idea to have one done. The price ranges $275 and up, depending perhaps on the home size, whether it's a single family or a condo, how many units there are and such. But again, it is a very good investment because it is through here that you will probably make the best decision on your investment. Also, it's important to know that the inspector has to be paid on site at the time of the inspection. Okay? Now, the inspection takes place. The inspector will actually have to provide you with a written report within 24 to 48 hours after the inspection takes place. Again, during this time, you've already had hired an attorney, and the attorney is also reviewing your contract. Okay? Now, let's say now that your inspection report comes back and it gives you the situation with all of the systems in the house, and you find out that there are some issues, minor issues, but all seems okay, nothing that you can't deal with. If there are any particular situation, things that need to be fixed, two things can be done. You can work with your realtor or your attorney to try and work those things out with the seller. Perhaps they can give you credits on the house. Perhaps they can fix some of the minor situations that need to be clarified or given attention. Well, if all the systems are good and all of that has been worked out, or you decide to move forward, you now go and secure the loan with the bank. And once that is all done, you won't be able to move forward to closing until you find an insurance. So once the loan is secured through the bank for the home that you have now decided and cleared out, the attorney has cleared out title and everything is good, you have done the inspection and you know the systems are all good with the house, you decide to move forward, you find the insurance for the house, homeowner's insurance. Make sure you do your research, find a good insurance and an expensive one, so that it doesn't add on to your monthly mortgage expense. And when that insurance for homeowners is in place, you will now then be given the green light to go ahead and close. Okay? Don't forget that at the closing table, you will need to have, again, enough money for closing, enough money for down payment. Not to forget that the bank will also look for you to make sure that you have some money put away on your bank account as a reserve and security. Normally 3 to 6 months is what the bank is looking for in terms of reserves as a safety cushion in case something goes wrong somewhere in between. They want to make sure that you as a new homeowner are going to be well as their investment. So make sure you prepare for these things, get ready, save, and if you need any assistance, look for the help of a hot agency. Our organization's name again is Lucha. Let me give you the information. It is Latin United Community Housing Association. There we are. We are at 1152 North Christiana. We are bilingual. We are cornered with Division. Feel free to give us a call, make an appointment. We do have workshops twice a week for homeowners to attend. And as I said, we do provide also credit counseling for you as part of home buyers. So any and all questions will be worked out for you during one-on-one counseling. And in general, the home buying process is also explained in much more detail in our workshops. Feel free to give us a call and register for any of our incoming workshops. Again, the next one should be coming up soon. And if you go to our website, lucha.org, you will be able to get the schedule for future workshops coming down. And as I said, our services are free, as well as our one-on-one counseling to work you and take you by the hand from beginning to end to make sure that you get a good transaction. Should you have any more questions, my name is Ms. Leon. Feel free to request my assistance. I'll be there for you, or any of our other counselors and homebuyers, assistance counselors to be there for you in English or Spanish. It doesn't matter. Our services are free of charge. It's been a pleasure working with you today. Thank you very much for your time, and have a wonderful evening.